Good morning. I'll call this meeting of the Community Growth and Economic Development Committee for Tuesday, March 4th, 2025 to order. Madam Clerk, can we have a roll call, please? Roll call is open. Okay, thank you. Are there any declarations of pecuniary interest from members of committee? Seeing none, could I have a motion to move the minutes of our meeting from February 4th, 2025? Moved by Councillor Kerr, seconded by Mayor Watton. Any questions, comments, or otherwise? All in favor? Opposed? That is carried. There are no statutory public meetings. We start off under presentations. We have Lori Talling, Acting Manager, Agricultural and Rural Economic Development, about Growing North Durham Plan Annual Activity Report. Morning, Lori.
Good morning, Chair and members of committee. Looking forward to presenting on the annual report on our Growing North Durham Plan, and more information can be found in the corresponding report in today's agenda package. So the plan was endorsed, as you may remember, by Regional Council and the North Durham Councils in early 2023, and it sets out goals and actions to support economic growth across North Durham to 2027. It's a supporting plan of the Economic Development and Tourism Strategy and Action Plan, Ready, Set, Future. And at the time the plan was endorsed, a commitment was made for us to provide annual reports on key activities advanced over the last year and plans for the coming year to each council in North Durham. And to date, we've provided updates to Uxbridge and Scugog councils, and we'll be presenting to Brock on Monday the 10th. And this presentation will highlight some of the key activities completed over the last year and our plans for the year ahead. So the plan really supports a collaborative North Durham-wide approach to economic development, where resources are shared across Brock, Scugog, and Uxbridge to advance common economic development interests. The delivery of programming in North Durham really relies on collaboration between the region, the North Durham townships, as well as business support organizations such as the North Durham Chamber of Commerce, the Brock Board of Trade, and BIAs. Regional economic development staff maintain regular communication with township staff to discuss and advance matters relating to economic development in North Durham. And this ongoing collaboration has really been integral to the success of the Growing North Durham plan so far. The plan is structured under 3 pillars: people, places, and prosperity. And each pillar includes goal areas and actions that support a community-driven approach to economic development. And the following slides will highlight key activities completed within each pillar over the course of the last year. The people pillar is about recognizing the strong correlation between human capital and economic growth. One of the key activities that we completed was hosting the North Durham Building Business Forum. The event included a business support trade show, networking opportunities, and sessions on AI for small and medium-sized businesses, as well as a panel on leading with inclusion in the workplace. A North Durham labor force study was completed to examine and highlight key factors contributing to labor market dynamics. An action plan is currently being developed, and actions to address some of the labor market factors are already underway, including exploration of workforce transportation challenges in collaboration with our partners. Last year, Ag and Rural Economic Development content shifted to a focus on agri-food content. So we decided that all of the rural ECDev content would move towards the Invest Durham channels and sometimes the Durham tourism channels where we thought it was relevant. We continue to share information with businesses such as funding opportunities, infrastructure updates, and community information through those platforms, as well as through one-on-one communications. And we also shared North Durham innovation success stories. And lastly, although more closely related to the Growing Agri-Food Durham plan, on which we provided an update last month, the Agri-Food Gateway Pilot Program provided small to medium-sized technology companies with agriculture training to help them adapt their technologies to fill needs and gaps in the agri-tech and agriculture sector. The Places pillar is about highlighting and strengthening North Durham's unique qualities of place that stimulate meaningful connections with the community. In 2024, we partnered with the Durham College Photography Program to capture images of North Durham businesses that would be used in future marketing campaigns and materials, and they're also seen in this presentation today. Several initiatives and campaigns led by our division's marketing, tourism, and rural tourism staff included strong North Durham content or focus. Those included campaigns such as Gather at the Farm, Rural Roots, and Durham Region Signature Sites, and more. And more than 40 blog posts focused on or included North Durham content. Our staff were active members as well of the Home Sweet Scugog New Business Welcome Program EDAC Subcommittee, and we were pleased to see this project launch this year with the first wagon presented at a business's grand opening on February 8th. We also continued to support initiatives focused on strengthening economic vitality in North Durham downtowns, including input on Brock's downtown CIP, updates, the Scugog Business Program, and implementation of Uxbridge downtown revitalization initiatives. We also work closely with township staff to secure a rural economic development grant for Uxbridge downtown revitalization. The prosperity pillar is about business retention and making informed decisions to encourage and enable economic growth. Our team supported the development of the Scugog Business Program Final Report and Action Plan and promotional materials, and will continue to support implementation activities in 2025. In coordination with development services staff of the townships, our team responds to investment inquiries on an ongoing basis. Most are generated through our regional business development and investment team, but in other cases, investment leads are either coming directly to our team or to township staff. We collaborate with township staff to identify potential sites to submit for consideration. And of the 33 investment inquiries that were circulated to the DEDP in 2024, at least one North Durham site was submitted on 19 occasions. We also provide one-on-one business support. And in 2024, we provided support to more than 30 current or prospective North Durham businesses. And last year, business, building, and parcel inventories were developed for key areas of economic interest across North Durham, which include the downtowns and employment lands. These are really valuable for us to provide responses on a timely basis to investment inquiries, for tracking potential opportunities, and much more. We also researched and consulted with township staff to provide updates to the Invest Durham Signature Sites document and represented North Durham at the DDP Commercial and Industrial Realtor Developer Social event in May. Web asset improvements included updates to the township-specific toolkits and community profiles, and included a full content refresh, which included the addition of interactive data tools, improved linkages between township websites and the Invest Durham websites. And reports were circulated on this on the website updates, and an online walkthrough was provided to each of the North Durham councils. So looking ahead, some of our key initiatives planned for this year include developing a North Durham Labor Force Action Plan and implementation of selected actions, such as a North Durham Job Fair. We also plan to develop a standardized business visitation program and to do some work on targeted CIP promotion and targeted downtown business attraction. So thanks very much for the opportunity to present, and now I'm available to take questions.
Thank you, Lori. Any questions? Councillor Pickles.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just for my clarity, the Growing North Durham, it just speaks to the northern townships, or does it speak
Yes.
to the northern portion of some of the lakeshore municipalities, such as Pickering?
Thanks for the question. Through the chair, it does focus on the 3 North Durham townships of Brock, Scugog, and Uxbridge.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Councillor Kerr.
Thank you, Chair, and through you to Lori. Good presentation, very interesting. Wanted to focus in on the aspect of the development of the jobs, and the job fair. Is there consideration to the amount of housing supply, the cost of that housing compared to South Durham, and the attractiveness, therefore, of live, work, and play in North Durham? Is that part of your initiative as well?
Thanks for the question through the chair. Housing is definitely considered one of the overall sort of macro factors, and that was included in the study. I think due to some of the housing challenges, not really sufficient affordable housing in some of the northern area communities, we would be looking for not only trying to attract labor from within the north, but we'd also be facilitating actions that would help to attract folks from the lakeshore municipalities as well. So there is a recognition of that.
Good, because, you know, the fewer people that have to drive all the way into downtown Toronto to work and who can live, work, and play, it's lovely air up there in North Durham. Not that it's not great in South Durham, but breathe it in. And when I drive to my cottage, I see the sign for Brock, breathe it in. Most times it smells like farm effluents, but where I drive, but when you get past the farm, the air is absolutely fabulous. So,
Yeah.
anyway, thank you for that. I think that's a
Yes.
key piece that makes it
Yes.
really attractive for people who want to relocate there. Thank
Yes,
you.
absolutely.
Thank you, Chair.
Agreed. Through the chair, the quality of place within North Durham is definitely something that we focus on when we look at attracting talent, and we're also contemplating a talent attraction marketing campaign as well that will
Great.
help to feature some of those great elements.
Great, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Seeing no other questions, thank you, Lori.
Thank you.
We now move on to 5.2 is Simon Gill, Director of Economic Development Tourism, and Maylene Broderick, Manager Business Development and Investment, Reinvestment Attraction Metrics Annual Activity Report. So Maylene is here and Simon is online, and that's good because I understand he's got a little bit of cold or flu and we don't want to spread it to anybody, right, Simon?
Yep. Apologies for not being there, Chair, in person, but I would have loved to have come. And thank you for the opportunity to present. I'm here with our Manager of Business Development and Investment, Maylene Broderick. Despite the news coming from the US today, we have a great number of accomplishments and meaningful programming that the business development team accomplished last year. And it's all captured in the Investment Attraction Metrics report in the committee agenda package. We are hoping to go through some of those meaningful programming accomplishments with you today. And for that, I will turn it over to Ms. Broderick to take you through the presentation.
Thank you, Simon. Good morning, Chair Chapman and members of the committee. The Business Development and Investment team is made up of 3 business development specialists, a coordinator, and myself. We are responsible for the development of industry-leading investment attraction initiatives informed by Ready, Set, Future, Durham Region's bold transformational economic action plan. The plan is, and I quote, ambitious, aspirational, and tenacious, just like our community. The report, which is contained today with supporting 13 appendices, is an annual review of the 2024 investment attraction metrics. It outlines investment attraction activities, as well as real estate-related queries handled by our team in 2024. It also provides a summary of the major commercial and industrial investments of economic significance that were developed in the region. What do we do? The business team in 2024 focused on 5 key areas. We focused on generating leads for potential new investment, including conducting investment attraction missions, in-market lead generation services, and hosting investor tours and delegations. We also responded to investment inquiries and delivered specialized services and advice to prospective investors. We promoted the region at the inaugural Realtor Developer event through our signature sites documents, where we showcase 41 commercial and industrial properties that are available for development in the region. This was done to the real estate and development community who are predominantly focused on the Toronto area. We also cultivated relationships with our community partners, post-secondary institutions, senior government agencies to promote investment attraction to Durham, ensuring that everyone knows Durham should be top of mind when making an investment decision. We also succeeded in establishing international economic partnerships to provide a direct landing pad for investment businesses ready to expand into Canada. How do we do all of this? We work very closely and in collaboration with the Durham Economic Development Partnership, which is our ECDEV colleagues across our area municipalities. We would like to take this opportunity to thank our ECDEV colleagues in the area municipalities who with us timeously responded to all investment inquiries and worked diligently with us to ensure that we showcase Durham as a great place to invest, live, work, and play. Our focus areas are based on Ready, Set, Future, as I earlier alluded to. This is because we focus on growing the region's economy in the top 5 priority clusters that have the best potential for long-term growth and high-value job growth. Over the course of 2024, our business development team sourced new investment leads in the areas of future energy, where we worked hard to deliver the message that Durham is the clean energy capital of Canada, as well as in areas of electrified and autonomous vehicle technologies, applied digital technology, agri-food, and the creative industries, as shown on the slide. In 2024, I'm pleased to report that our team serviced over 161 leads or investment inquiries. We refer to leads as pre-qualified companies that have an interest in either expanding into or creating a new presence in Canada, and we seek to make that Durham. Due to the concentration of efforts of the team, our new investment were primarily sourced in the 5 priority clusters. As the slide indicates, over 80% of our leads were in these priority clusters. The appendices 3 and 4 detail these leads. We service the highest amount of leads in the future energy sector, followed by applied digital technology and agri-food at 22% and 15% respectively. Where do we get our leads? Invest Durham serviced over, as I said, 161 leads. 101 of those leads were primarily through our investment attraction missions, both in person and virtual, followed by direct inquiries that we received from companies, around 14%. 22 leads came in from our strategic partners, which are provincial and federal government agencies, such as Global Affairs Canada, Trade Commission Services, Invest in Canada, Invest Ontario, and the Ministry of Economic Development, Job Creation and Trade, which we refer to as MEJCAT. 6 leads were generated from Invest Durham's promotional marketing efforts outside of our missions, and this includes where we participated either in sponsorships or local events. And the base of the leads came from community members, businesses and site selectors, and some, 2%, from our partners, including Ontario Manufacturing Community Alliance and Ontario Food Cluster. Investment attraction missions are a key part of the work that we do. In 2024, the team undertook 8 investment attraction missions with the dual purpose of meeting prospective investors, promoting Durham Region's value proposition in our key target geographies, which included countries such as Korea, various European destinations, including Germany, and the US. A summary of these activities are contained in Appendix 6 of your report. We'd like to spotlight a very key area that we worked on last year, which was signing of a memorandum of understanding with Tampere, Business Tampere in Finland. Following a successful inbound delegation of businesses originating from the Tampere region who visited the region in 2023, we followed up with a visit to the area in 2024. As I said, we signed a memorandum of understanding outlining key areas of economic alignment and collaboration, and we were accompanied in our efforts by the Senior Trade Commissioner for Finland. This visit yielded over 25 connections with industrial, academic, and institutional partners, And two immediate investment opportunities that we are working on included, for example, a digital technology solutions provider in transport and defense that employs over 600 people globally. Investorum's exploration missions have solidified bilateral partnerships with our European counterparts, which couldn't have come at a better time, given our efforts to now diversify our trade options. Another area that we worked on, as I indicated, was attending supporting events. In addition to the trade missions that we undertook, our team attended over 64 industry events, conferences, and trade shows in 2024 to identify and meet prospective investors, develop new relationships with strategic partners, and strengthen our existing relationships. These details are contained in Appendix 7. Some of these events included OPG's SMR Supplier Day, where we met with the globally renowned French nuclear plant company, EDF, and the Collision conferences, where we conducted over 20 investment-related meetings. As we now have a fully staffed business development team, we invested a significant amount of time in developing key relationships with strategic partners like Invest in Canada, Invest Ontario, Trade Commissioner Services, and Immigration Canada. This yielded great results for our region, and Durham Region welcomed over 21 inbound delegations last year that participated in regional site tours and included delegations from Europe, Asia, Latin America, and the US, details of which are contained in Appendix 6. I'd like to spotlight one of the relationships we've worked very hard to build, and that is with Invest Ontario. So much so that they chose to do their strategic planning session for 2025 in Durham Region at our regional headquarters, and we then followed with a site tour of the region. A notable inbound delegation included 22 members of the US Senate and House of Representatives, where we shared information on being a nuclear host community, showcased our nuclear assets, with a special emphasis on SMRs. We also were able to take our international delegations to show international businesses in situ, where we visited Safran Landing Systems in Ajax. This slide, committee members, is a summary of our metrics, and as you can see, from a target perspective, we have been able to actually exceed our targets in investment leads, pitch proposals sent, site selection services delivered, investment missions, and touch points with prospective investors. What are our investment successes after all of this hard work? Investorum was successful in welcoming 2 new businesses to the region in 2024, where we played either a supporting role or a lead role. We are pleased to support the investment of Black & McDonald into the region, as well as CTNS, which is a Korean-based battery pack manufacturer offering end-to-end development manufacturing. CTNS' interest in Ontario was a direct result of our lead-generating activity at Interbattery, Korea. The slide is a bit difficult to read, but it seeks to showcase our work that we do with our DEDP partners. In preparation for this report, we requested information from our area municipalities to showcase projects that have landed in the region that are of economic significance. The details of these are contained in Appendix 11 of your report, and where we didn't necessarily have the opportunity to be directly involved, because they chose to work with another government agency or site selector, it's important to note that the region's marketing activities to promote and showcase our value proposition could have led to these investment decisions. In addition, the support of the region in prioritizing and servicing employment lands, as well as the broadband infrastructure, we believe have influenced some of these decisions. In closing, Chair, I think it would be fit for me to thank our leadership for always availing themselves to champion the region, the management for the team, and of course the BD team who has joined me in the chamber today, without whom none of this would be possible. We do our level best to ensure that Durham Region is known in our targeted geographies as the best place to grow, invest, live, work, and play. I thank you.
Thank you. We got Councillor Kerr has some questions.
Councillor Kerr always has questions. He's an inquisitive guy. Thank you for this. That's a lovely accent. I may have missed it in your introduction a few months ago. Is that South African? Nice. I haven't heard that in a while. It's got a nice lilt to it. So, two questions. One, I think it was your second slide. It talked about 86% of the leads. But I didn't hear a follow-up statement that said where the other 14% came from. One before that, I think. Oh, wait, sorry. Yes, 86% are in the 5 priority clusters, ready, set, future. Where are the other 14% coming from? I wasn't quite clear on that.
Through the chair, the leads are from other sectors which are not necessarily in our priority clusters where we focus, areas such as life sciences or advanced manufacturing in other areas that are not contained in our 5 priority clusters.
But we'll take them if we get them.
Absolutely.
Okay. The second question is that last week at council, we passed a motion, a directive to spread development charges over 5 years instead of at the start. And I don't know whether you can answer this or not, but in your view, does that become a useful tool for you going forward to attract new investment to Durham Region?
Through the chair, if I can ask Brian maybe to take that.
Thank you.
Thank you, through you, Chair. Yeah, I think we're still getting some information on that, but I will see what the feedback is from the investment community, and I presume it would be helpful if you could spread it out, but I haven't heard that directly from the community, so we'll see how they respond.
So
I think
the
it might be
initial-
too early to tell because all the details of it, as you know, the staff are working on the bylaws and how that works. So I think it's too early to tell. We just passed it last week.
Yeah.
And this is about the 2024 reports, and we'll see what happens as we move forward. I know our staff will try and take advantage of that, when opportunities, when they talk to certain things, saying, hey,
Sure.
here's another plus for Durham type thing.
Well, that's kind of what I thought, another plus. So,
Yeah.
okay. And I didn't mean to put you on the spot, but I'm glad the cavalry came in and helped out at the last bit. Thanks very much, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Any other? Councillor Said?
Yes, thank you so much. Through you, Chair Chapman. A lovely presentation. I know your department works really hard, so thank you so much. Just a couple of questions in terms of a few things that I picked up. Diversifying trade options. Can you expand on that, please? Knowing, and I will just elaborate to the question, knowing what the Ontario government is saying in terms of tariffs, it's the big word, everybody's talking about it. Ontario government seems like they may be going a little aggressive towards it, which could be justified 100%. And then the federal government saying something. So what does diversified trade options look like for us at Invest Durham?
Through the chair, I'm not going to comment on the tariffs, Councillor, but from a trade diversification point of view, what we seek to do is provide opportunities or export opportunities for the businesses in Durham Region who are export ready into markets that they haven't traditionally exported to. We leverage off treaties like CUSMA or CETA with the European Union or Asia or Australasia in order to expand their horizons for export. So that is what we mean by trade diversification, getting our businesses export ready to diversify into other markets.
So can you explain me in a very simple version, and thank you for that through you, Chair, how do we send a beacon to other people outside of this way, other than South, saying that we're ready for business more than ever?
Through the chair, and I'm sure Simon would like to augment, the main way that we do that is through our trade missions. As you know, we have approval from Council to attend the Hannover Messe 2025 trade show at the end of this month, where we will be taking the Durham Region value proposition to the trade fair, where we have over 4,000 businesses that we can interact with. We've lined up to 70 business meetings in order to share our value proposition and attract investment into Canada, Ontario, and Durham.
Thank you. And where is this trade mission through you, Chair?
Through the chair, Hannover Messe in Germany.
Germany.
And Canada is the partner country this year, and that's why we are participating at the scale that we are.
Congratulations.
And that's why we're
good
not
luck.
having a meeting in April, because most of the primary staff involved with that type of thing will be there, or not most of them, but a lot of them. So that's why we canceled the meeting in April.
I
Like,
haven't
the
gone
commissioner will
far-
be there,
that
the
far.
director will be there. Yeah, so,
I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Thank you, Chair.
thank you. No other questions? Thank you very much. Okay, next on the agenda is the community growth reports. There are two. Report 2025 CG4, Smart Mobility Durham 2024 Annual Report and 2025 Work Plan, and 2025 CG5, the Durham Environmental and Climate Advisory Committee Youth Membership Appointment. Can I have somebody move both of those? Moved by Mayor Watton, seconded by Councillor Pickles. Does anybody want to pull either one of them? And on the recommendations held in the reports, all in favor? Opposed, they are carried. Economic Development, we have two reports. Reports 2025 EDT6, Growing North Durham Plan Annual Activity Report, which we had a presentation on, and Report 2025 EDT-7, Investment Attraction Metrics Annual Activity Report 2024. Going to move both of them, Councillor Pickles, seconded by Councillor Wu. Any pulls? You want to pull one, Councillor Wu?
If I could pull both to speak to them?
Okay. All right, then start with the Growing North Durham Plan, please.
Yeah, and through the chair, and thank you very much, and Lori, that was a great presentation. You had mentioned, and I'm looking at the report on page 2, under people, workforce transportation challenges. And I can speak to that within Clarington. Some of our industrial parks, we had a meeting with Durham Region Transit so that those workers could get to work. Now, I guess the issue is we do have Durham Region Transit. It's not on a regular basis to service these industrial areas. And in fact, if I'm not mistaken, I think earlier in my term, we had somebody here from Unifor speaking about Durham Region Transit down to General Motors. So what kind of priority are we placing with workforce transportation? And especially this speaks to the northern areas.
So did you want to take that to CEO, or I was going to get the manager of Durham Regional Transit, who happens to be here? We get his microphone on? Oh, there we go.
Thank you, and through the chair, this was not planned, so, but I would be pleased to respond in terms of the transportation network, and I do know that staff are working very closely with the Economic Development Group, as well as across the municipalities, various manufacturing businesses across the region, looking at demands, and based on the investment we're making in public transit over the next 10 years, the 10-year investment plan, that will enable us to enhance services to these areas. So we are working very closely with that, and as we are growing the service and new service hours are coming online, it will enable us to meet more of those needs of moving workers to their places of work.
Okay, thank you. With the investment that we are putting in Durham Region Transit, I think over the course of time, the evolution, it'll happen. Now, the one thing that's in this report on page 5, but coincidentally, it's also referenced in the next report, is speaking about staff continue engage in discussion, request progress updates on pre-servicing North Durham employment lands. But, and in fact, our speaker here also spoke about it in the next report about pre-servicing employment lands. And I know in Clarington that has been brought up. That's something that has held, I guess, investment in our community because we don't have the service land. And I think we've spoken about it, and something that we are considering is upfronting so that this can go ahead. I think this happened maybe 10 years, 12 years ago. Ajax did that up Salem. They pre-serviced their lands in advance. Is that something that, and I think this goes through finance and stuff like that and whatever, about pre-servicing land and upfronting land?
Okay, we'll get the commissioner to give you some words of wisdom.
Yes, thank you, Chair. Well, Councillor, you're right. It's a very active, ongoing discussion. There is some activity going on that Simon has led to identify where, in the consensus of other economic development officers, agree are the highest priority to target. We then work with our works colleagues to get those working through the works progress, get the environmental assessment work done, and then ultimately get some construction going. You know, it's not possible to date to do everything all at once, of course, so we do have to prioritize, and those activities are going on, and as well as the discussions with Clarington to make sure that their needs are met. There is a lot of service land. It's just not always in the right spot, I guess, in terms of where proponents want to get going. But a very active conversation, we're well aware, and it comes up very highly, you know, in the discussions that the CAO has with the mayors and so on. So it's top of mind.
Right. And we have had some success in different areas with front-end loading, right? With where the developer is looking for this piece of land, so he's come forward to do the work that gets those water and sewer there to servicing, which is not just his land, but could be, if he's here and it starts here, it could fill in between as well. And we've had, as you've seen on a lot of reports, we've had different successes with developers wanting to do front-end loading to move those water and sewer projects along.
Yep. Yeah, a lot of that, I know developers for residential. Here we're speaking, I think, more about commercial economic development. And it mentions it here on page 5 of 6. And it mentions again, page 5 of 101, important the region's work to increase investment readiness. Investment readiness, priority servicing and employment lands. So it's right there, and it's mentioned twice. So I think it's very important. Thank you on this one.
Okay, any other on those reports? Then all in favor? Opposed, they are carried. And now we have no other reports, other business. Councillor Shaid, you wanted to ask a question?
I did.
There you go.
Thank you. Really appreciate it. And this is mostly to Commissioner on tariffs and what I know that there has been communications before in Committee of the Whole and our committee meetings. So just wanted to know now that it is in effect, unfortunately, what do we see? So yesterday at our council meeting in the town, CAO had set the record of what is going to happen in terms of town facilities and so on, so forth on a local municipal level. I'd like to hear or a statement or something that could be sent out to residents, but also us to understand what are we looking at. So for instance, when we do some extensive work on servicing or improving our services, there's pipelines, there are infrastructure materials that comes, and most of it comes from the US. How are we going to deal with that? How are we going to remove or expand that beacon up ahead beyond Canada to get these materials? So this is my question, and that's where I feel that even if the budgets that we have set for the works that we need to do, there has to be a lot more thinking as to how we can diversify our procurement process and go on. So these are my questions. They do not need to be answered today. It's a whole lot for all of us.
We'll let the commissioner at least
Put me
provide
to
some
rest.
viewpoints, perhaps.
Thank you so
All
much.
right,
I
so
appreciate it.
thank you, Chair. And thank you, Councillor. So there's, from what I'm hearing from your question, kind of two aspects to it. There's the internal facing elements that pertain to our procurement and impact on projects and so on. And there's a lot of work going on, and you'll be hearing more about that. As far as some of the work that economic development does, so you've heard us talk about the Durham Economic Development Partnership. our staff, in conjunction with all of the area municipal economic developers, there's always active discussions and sharing information. Well, now with the tariff issue at the fore, there's a group now that we call the Durham Economic Development Task Force, which includes all of the DED members, excuse me, plus the colleges and the universities, and that are working in a number of priority areas. You heard Maylene talk about diversification, and we talked about that. There's work going on as far as additional promotion, and you heard about the mission to Hanover Messe and so on. And then also I would bring to light the fact that there is in development, and it's live, a landing page that has a tremendous amount of information. It's www.durham.ca/tariffs. And in there is just, you click on and you can get all manner of information from different federal ministries and so on about available programs, etc. I'd like to, Chair, to turn it over to Simon, if I may, and he can elaborate just in terms of more specifically about what some of the focal points are and some of the work that's being done. So Simon?
Yeah, Mr. Gill?
Yeah, thank you, Chair, and for the question. Some of the activities that the Durham Economic Task Force have underway right now include reaching out to the business community. That's probably point number one. All of the area municipal economic development teams and also Invest Durham for the North are reaching out to Durham's largest exporters, who we feel are at the highest risk of being impacted in the near term from these tariffs. We're gathering feedback on what their projected impacts are, and we're offering advice that we have compiled as to, some immediate activities that they could undertake to respond to the tariffs. And we're also working on delivering information to those businesses. As the Commissioner mentioned, we have that resource page that we are actively promoting currently. We're getting the word out to as many businesses in the region as we can that there is an online resource available at investdurham.ca/tariff. We are also working on a support program for trade diversification. This was discussed a little bit earlier, and it will probably start coming up again and again over the course of this year because it is going to be tremendously important. The things that staff and the DETF are doing in support of trade diversification include compiling a list of all of the businesses in Durham that produce manufactured goods and who want and have an interest in diversifying the buyers for their products internationally. So we're compiling a list. In that list, it will also include information about the products or otherwise that they want to sell. And we're going to be making connections for those businesses with EDC, with the Foreign Trade Commissioner Service, the branch of the federal government responsible for promoting trade by Canadian companies into international markets. And we will also be taking that, that Rolodex of products that we have to offer, these great Durham-made products that we have to offer, and showcasing those in international markets. And the first great opportunity, as the Commissioner and Ms. Broderick mentioned, is at Hanover Messe. We will be launching a broad shop local tourism campaign this summer. This will be to try and promote the concept that Canadians should look at the opportunity to spend their Canadian tourism dollars here in Canada, and particularly Durham region, on some of the fantastic locally owned and operated tourism operators that we have available in the region. And we also have a webinar coming up that we are producing in collaboration through the task force by the Chambers and Boards of Trade. We will be delivering 3 different great pieces of content on that. The first will be by our solicitor, Jason Hunt. He will be speaking about the Canada-European Trade Agreement, CETA, and the opportunities for Durham businesses through CETA. We'll have a rep from EDC available, and we'll have a rep from the Foreign Trade Commissioner Service available as well to deliver content on that webinar. And then lastly, I'll add that as these tariffs proceed. If they remain in force, then of course we are expecting there to be material impacts across our economy. And if there are federal programs that are launched to support businesses, relief programs, grant programs, that manner of activity, then the Durham Economic Task Force will work and respond rapidly to make sure that we get that information out to affected businesses and employees as quickly as possible. So that's what we have underway at the moment. The list of activities will likely grow over the near term, and we will likely be reporting back to committee in the near future on progress on some of these tariff response activities. So thanks, Chair.
I did. Thank you. Through you, Chair, the webinar, who is that available for? Is that available for us as everybody or all stakeholders minus counselors? I would love to attend, be the bug on the wall and just to listen.
Yes, through the chair. It's open to anyone. We're going to be using a platform that permits unlimited attendees, or a very large number of attendees. The content will be tailored towards exporters, Durham-based exporters of physical product.
Perfect. I would love to see the invite too. Thank you so much. That'll be all. And thank you so much for the answers. Appreciate it.
Councillor Wu.
Yeah, and thank you through the chair. And I don't know if Simon can answer this. And congratulations on the memorandum of understanding with Tempera, Finland. Now, how many memorandums of understanding do we have, let's say globally, and how many sister cities do we have? I think we have one in China. That was Wuxi. That was established quite a while ago. Do we have any other sister cities or memorandums that we can get a pulse on what's happening and let's say utilize those to, I guess, gain a foothold?
Yes, in fact, over the last 6 years, we've created a very, very strong economic development partnership with, in addition to now Business Tempera Finland, the Nuremberg metropolitan region in Bavaria, Germany. This is an economy very similar to Durham Region's economy, and we have been working very hard over the last 6 years to build opportunities for two-way trade and investment, academic collaboration, which has actually spun out some very interesting and meaningful collaboration projects. And the most recent activity that we have on this is that at Hannover Messe, we are going to be collaborating with Nuremberg on a business forum. And the forum will hopefully see invitees of businesses that are showcasing their products at Hannover Messe, numbering in the, hopefully over 100, as well as Canadian businesses, to create a forum for collaboration and discussion around trade diversification opportunities. We'll have a number of great speakers at that event, and it directly is resulting from the region's economic development partnership with Nuremberg. Business Tempera and Nuremberg are the two key economic development partnerships that we have in place right now. And we are also looking to expand that over time.
Okay. You have your hands full and good luck. And as I say, Godspeed.
Great. Thanks, Simon. That's great. So I have something for other business. In an effort, as I told you, was it last month, in trying to keep your calendars, because we know how busy you folks are, to give you advance notice for lots of stuff. So September the 4th, right, at Kubota headquarters in the city of Pickering will be the Durham Agricultural Advisory Committee farm tour between 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. The commissioner is going to send out more details on that, but poke it in your calendar now if you like. Give you advance notice, right? You can't say, oh, geez, I'm busy, right? Okay, next meeting is May the 6th. As we know, we aren't having one in April, and I will look for a motion to adjourn. Councillor Kerr, seconded by Chair Henry. All in favor? Opposed? That's carried. Thanks very much, folks. Have a great day.